Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Karmic Dynasty. I am Joyous Ram, here from present day Indianapolis, Indiana. And today, I'm going to share this right quick with y'all. This is the overlay for my series that I'm actually starting now. So whenever you see this, that means I'll be here soon with a presentation. And let's see, what am I doing? Okay, so today we are doing the introduction for my new astrology series, A Sip of Astrology. Now, this is how this is going to go. The purpose of this series is to slow down the Karmic Dynasty rants on astrology. And I am going to be here and we're going to be looking at the basics of astrology, such as when I get my birth chart. First of all, what's a birth chart? Second of all, when I get my birth chart, what's a house? What they mean by my third house? What's in my sixth house? And my Pluto is trine. What's a trine? And ascendant, what's my ascendant? What they mean, my face. My face is right here. Okay, so we're going to be doing the basics of astrology and building up. So everyone will know their own chart. We're going to work on our charts together, and we're going to work on the basics of our chart and how to read a chart. And we can look at things like our south node and north node and know what they mean. Like, okay, what's a south node? A north node. So what about my east node and my west node? Y'all know? So we have questions. We've been up here on the platform several times, and we just going in on astrology. And people's like, some people is flowing, some is with us, some is above and out there with us, and others is like, okay, I'm a Cancer, and I'm out. You know what I mean? So today I'm here to give an overview of where the platform has stood so far. And for everyone who knows, thank you for being here. Thank you for staying tuned. And for those of you who are new, I'm going to get you caught up to date on the what's up with astrology. And Karmic Dynasty is here in teaching mode. So we did study mode for a few weeks. I know I got to finish out my Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and we're in study mode with the teachers today. I am here. I am the teacher. So we're going to get this going. And I'm going to start with acknowledging the platforms that I'm streaming on, such as Abdiel Ben Levi L, his YouTube channel, Tribe Up 777999, and also to the Seba, Khepra, Ptah, and his platforms, and the many platforms we're streaming to on Facebook. Now, coming to the stage, we must first know there are different types of astrology. We must also know that while I am here, I, as of last night, am the Goddess Aset presentation with Michael Coles and Khepra Ptah. I must point out that when it comes to the astrology, astronomy, astrophysics, AST is the beginning of these words. So from this point on, I am saying astrology, not astrology. Astrology. I'm gonna blend the T twice. Astrology. There we go. All right, so there are different types of astrology, and these are just a few. So there is Vedic astrology, And we're going to cover each one of these and more over this series. We're gonna progress our way up through this process. Get them, Cody. And hey, Cody. And we're going to graduate and look at some different forms of astrology, because I really need, if people going to be looking at this, that they know that there are different forms. So, it's like a buffet. You pick and choose what you want. A little Vedic over here, a plate of Western, a dash of Ori, a sprinkle of Chinese, and electional for dessert. I need us to be able to know there's more in this life. Okay. And then there's, of course, Egyptian astrology, speaking of Ast, and Kemetic astrology, which I've touched on briefly throughout the Karmic Dynasty timeline. I also have a folder on the Karmic Dynasty YouTube channel for astrology, a playlist from the platform. So you want to go get caught up and see where we've been and where we up, how we got to right here, go check that out. Because that will be my part where in the beginning I say how I came about this topic. Because before I all the way beat something up, I at least want y'all to know why I'm beating it up, the basics of it. And so you have your viewpoint, your standards. You could come up here, you could come in the platform, the panel, and talk about it with me. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. All right. Now I've had my views as I've shared with where my thing at? Okay. And I'm here to share some stories with y'all for today and get us jump started on our classes coming up. Let's do one a week. I'm thinking right now, one astrology class a week. We're gonna start out with the basics. So today, right quick, we're gonna look at some history on the astrology known in these parts, this land, real well, and most of us are looking at and getting our tattoos about. So the Almagest is a 2nd century Greek language, mathematical and astronomical treatise on the apparent motions of the stars and planetary paths, written by Claudius Ptolemy. One of the most influential scientific texts of all time. It canonized a geocentric model of the universe that was accepted for more than 1,200 years from its origin in Hellenistic Alexandria, in the medieval Byzantine and Islamic worlds, and in West Europe through the Middle Ages and early Renaissance until Copernicus. It is also a key source of info about ancient Greek astronomy. Astronomical astronomy. Now, before I go further, this brings me to a point I want to make clear, because several times on the platform I have pronounced and declared for support of another presenter on the platform that there is a difference between astrology and astronomy, also cosmology. But for the most part, people tend to use these, they interchangeably, astronomy and astrology, like they the same things. I'm gonna share this with y'all so y'all know, but right quick, it's a science thing. It's a science thing. And when we looking at who has determined astronomy, and astrology's difference of science, like who determined what science is? Who determined the determiners that determine what science is? So according to the general census, the difference overall between astronomy and astrology is the word science. Astronomy is scientifically proven. It's a scientific study. Astrology, basically, according to those sayers, determiners, is not scientific scientifically proven. It's a pseudoscience scientific practice, which basically means it's entertainment. So basically, the scientists, the lab coat guys, they say you all are entertaining yourselves when it comes to astrology, that you should be looking more at the astronomy. If you're going to be being constructive, you need to be looking at some astronomy, which is the scientific study of the universe and its contents outside of Earth's atmosphere. Astronomers examine the positions, motions, and properties of celestial objects by science approval. And when it comes to astrology, according to right here, it attempts to study how those positions, motions, and properties affect people and events on Earth. So that's the difference. So just know that when people up here, when you see people and or yourself attempting to prove a case, and it's got to deal with astrology, it's not scientifically proven, so it don't count. So astrologers, do your thing. All right. Hold on. Do I want to do? Yeah, where I want to go next? All right, Leah, let's finish this. All right. So Claudius Ptolemy was a Greek mathematician, astronomer, geographer. Me and my ost was a Greek mathematician, astronomer, geographer, and astrologer. He lived in the city of Alexandria in the Roman province of Egypt. Under the rule of the Roman Empire, he was also a Roman citizen, cited Greek philosophers, and used Babylonian observations and Babylonian lunar theory. Now, right quick, we looking at this guy was Greek, and he cited Greek philosophers, which means he repeated them. That's called hearsay. And he used Babylonian observations. He used somebody else's observations and their lunar theory. So that means besides the other astrologies that I mentioned earlier, the Vedic, Chinese, Western, there's apparently, besides also, of course, there's an Egyptian, Kemetic, there's a Babylonian astrology. Astrology. Ain't that something? Dear. Let me see where I want to go next. Because this guy is a big deal. Is a big point is being made when we discuss him, because you're not going to be studying no astronomy from around these parts and not acknowledging this man right here. All right. So there's a lunar theory. So we're going to look at the moon phases right quick, because when it comes to astronomy and all things, astrology and other things that's tied to it, you may want to know about a waxing crescent, a first quarter, a waning crescent, a full moon, the new moon. Like what's what? Okay, we're gonna look at the moon phases, and we're gonna look at other things too. Now, a big part of what got me to my astronomy teachings was the signs, symbols. I'm a symbols person. I'm a visual learner. Okay, so first thing for me was the signs. So I'm studying the planets, like things like this, and I'm like, and I like to turn things upside down and read them back and forth. Like Mercury, I'll read Erucrum, Mercury, Erucrum. So that's how I read and look across things sometimes. So as I initially was coming in looking, I was like, Venus did what? Venus symbol upside down used to be what? Okay, we've covered all that. We've looked at that. So what are we going to be doing next? Let's look at how Venus used to be what planet? What symbol? What? Who? Oh, but first, let's look at how we want to point out the phallic influence in astrology. Now, when it comes to astrology, the recognition of the mother Aset, we're looking at the phallus right here, the arrow, that represents a penis in astrology. If you didn't know, it's been presented here before, and we'll look at that today as well. Before we get into the basics, today is the introduction course of astrology, a sip of astrology. All right. So, historically, as I already mentioned, and this is in bizlogo.com. So logos, sign symbols, modern logos, arrow symbol meanings, and modern logos. Go check that out. Historically, though, the arrow was seen as a phallic symbol, representing piercing and penetrating. Now, Asar, you may say Osiris, and Ast, they were a thing. And we know that he had his whole phallus events in his life. And so for me, Mars and this fighting spirit, warrior spirit, is a lot to be said. And right now I'm matching that up with Osiris for a model purpose of phalluses, penises. And in modern logos, the arrow usually denotes positive upward and outward movement, piercing, penetrating. Positive is up and or out. So you get it up from the sides, movement, positive. Making it a great logo symbol in the investment, marketing, consulting, and communication sector. Because yes, when it comes to investments, you want to see them numbers go up. Marketing, definitely go up. Consulting, communications, go up, go up. Right? Going up and down, going up, going up, going up. And now we want to see how. Mars, the glyph. So as this is pointing out on the left, where you see the cross on top of the circle, that's the ancient symbol of Mars. On the right, we have the modern version, the phallic, the penis version. Question is, as I have always, since I saw this, asked, who determined and when did they determine when a sign was done being ancient and determined to modernize it? Who's these determinants in these lab coats? Did the ancient Mars glyph on the left with the cross on top expire like milk? And they said, we need a new, like they do your iPhones. They update your phones, update these TVs, update your apps. They updated the symbols. So moving forward, we'll see more of the phallus, and y'all check that out. But there's a lot of semen, consumption, acts of worship, life-giving power, ingesting the sperm from the phallus, et cetera, et cetera. Go check out that out. There is a phallus museum in Scandinavia. This is it, just a room full of penises, horse penises, penises. Then we got Mars and Venus together. Then they make these symbols, logos, the foundation definition of gender glyphs. So you got your transgender. This is all astrology related. Because where I can't even, you know what I mean? Mars and Venus, all up in this chart right here. Who determined, what's the determinant name in the lab coat that determined that we're going to put the two together. Or no, we're going to put two of the Mars together and the woman together and call it transgender. Up in the top left-hand corner. They got, hold on, that ain't, yeah, oh. No, that's not what that is. This is a mess. That's what this is. I don't even want to, I can't go no further with that. That's a mess. That's what that is. And again, this is the general overview of astrology. Let's go back here. Glyphs, Jupiter. Again, on the left, the ancient symbol, because it expired, needed to be modernized, and that's what we have on the right-hand side. For me, the very far left, I magnified the illustrations to the left, and I flipped them upside down. So I'm just comparing them and looking at them. These people will change your life through a glyph, and it alter your astrology. So know what you're studying. I'm not knocking anybody for studying. Know what you're studying, because they will alter your astrology. Because what else they gonna do? Stuff like this. The ancient symbol of the crescent representing the soul. Over on the left, the ancient version of this glyph. Because it expires, you know. It did, so they modernized it and put the new version. Over there on the right. Over there. Expired milk. Expiration date? Expiration. It expired when? Because Saturn, how about we gonna flip that upside down and make it Jupiter? Like, how, this is why stuff like this is why astronomy is labeled scientific and astrology is labeled non-scientific. It's pseudo-scientific practice, and they consider it your entertainment because it's forever changing. In science, they like to say is like definite. It stands. Every now and then the lab coats will get together and adjust, alter, but they don't be doing stuff like, and if they do, they have a scientific backing for it. As I said, who made these decisions? Who determined it? And where's their scientific records on the why? So this is why there's a lot of mockery of astrology. So you might as well make it your own, because you waiting on these people to teach you something about astrology. It's ever changing. And probably by the time you get it, like, I got it. They gonna change it. They gonna change, like how they made Pluto a planet. No, Pluto ain't a planet. Pluto's a planet? No, Pluto ain't a planet. And they even knocked the guy who identified Pluto and was like, his teachings is garbage. We don't want to acknowledge him like in the Bible. Like, you bet not study no astrology. Astrology is becoming popular with many people, regarding it to be a source of wise counsel. Now, wisdom is not backed by the approval of science. Wise counsel. That's not backed by science. What wisdom is, it's a part of you. It's given. It's the who you are, and you can't buy wisdom. You can't. So the lab coats, they don't count. And what does the Bible say about those who consult with astrologers and use astrology as guidance for their lives? Well, according to Isaiah 47:13 through 15 in the New International Version, it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. All the counsel you have received has only worn you out. All your counsels only warn you out. Let the astrologers come forward. those stargazers who make predictions month by month, let them save you from what is coming upon you. Surely they are like stubble. The fire will burn them up. They cannot even save themselves from the flame. Each of them goes on in his error. There is not one that can save you. Now, another reason that astrology is looked at as a form of entertainment, because the Bible wants to condemn astrologers, you stargazers, predictions, predict. You want to tell we're not gonna let y'all get by with pre-telling something. We're gonna leave that all up to the Bible. The only people allowed to tell you something before it happens is the people in this Bible. That's their theory. That's their thought. They said it right here. You can't have nothing from an astrologer. They not wise. They can't even save themselves from the flame. So how they gonna save you? Each, I'm on the last sentence, finishing out this page. Each of them goes on in his error. There is not one that can save you. Save you from what? Why? How would they do that? How is that possible? Back to this Pluto guy, as I said. You get too big in your pants, they start fitting real well, they're going to take them off of you. They're going to just straight strip them down on you. Percival Lowell, the Pluto guy, they straight shut him down. They was like, top of the second column. That's where I'm at. Although I'm in the column between Percival Lowell and the mausoleum. All right. Although Lowell's theories of the Martian canals of surface features on Venus, Martian canals of the surface features on Venus, ain't that something? And of Planet X. Planet X. There's a Planet X in astrology. Either way, it don't matter. It's now discredited. His practice of building observatories at the position where they would best function has been adopted as a principle. He also established a program and setting which made the discovery of Pluto by Clyde Tombaugh possible. So Clyde discovered Pluto, but Lowell's program and setting made it possible. So, dude, you made it possible, we're going to get rid of you. Lowell's been described by other planetary scientists as the most influential popularizer of planetary science in America before Carl Sagan. While eventually disproved Lowell's vision of the Martian canals as an artifact of an ancient civilization, making a desperate last effort to survive, significantly influences the development of science fiction. Significantly influences the development of science fiction. Starting with H.G. Wells' influential The War of the Worlds, which made the further logical interference that creatures from a dying planet might seek to invade Earth. Dying planets, the world of the... Did y'all see The War of the Worlds? Y'all might want to go check that out. Now, when it comes to us, these, so we address the symbols right quick. And again, it's the introduction course. So we ain't gonna be here too much longer. But then there's the signs. Those dot to dots, they use this, I say they use the sky as a dot to dot, and they go in and make the images, and then they erase them and make another image. And such is the theory when it came to like the Goddess Ast presentation I was on last night. And in there, they had Khepra Ptah's presentation had an Ast and Osiris constellation. So right here you got Aries, and then we got the different forms of astrology. So what is Aries in Egyptian astrology? What is Aries in Chinese astrology? And according to the presentation we looked at last night, Orion, for example, is Osiris. Now, in a place where words have meaning and power and symbolism and effects and frequencies in your life, are you going to call the constellation Orion or Osiris? Who is Orion? Who is Osiris? Okay. Like, and then what's their story? Like Taurus represents Zeus, represents kidnapping and pedophilia. Go find the story, check it out. Aldebaran, the eye of Taurus. Like, y'all want to pinpoint the eye of Taurus, but again, according to this story, it'll tell you why they say, which I'm going to ask y'all, have you noticed the Taurus constellation? Like, especially those people. I guess I'm about to attack the Taurus people. Like, I'm Taurus. My birthday is. Okay. The Taurus constellation. Why the entire Taurus body is not in the sky, in the constellation? Why it cut off at the waist? Anybody? We need some hold music around here. I got plenty of snacks. I got plenty of drink. I got activities up here I can do why is the entire Taurus, the bull body, not in the sky? Like Taurus, is y'all only half of a being? Y'all only half of, I thought the half was like the Sagittarius, half man, half beast. Half bull, half what? Half what? Half space in earth, half space in the sky. I mean, half bull, half blank. Half bull, half zero. Half bull, half. Why the entire bull ain't in the sky? Okay. Because they say, number one, there's not enough room in the sky to draw the entire bull's body. Number two, according to this Taurus kidnapping and pedophilia story, and Taurus, Zeus was in the water kidnapping this little girl. The scene in the sky represents Taurus in the water going to kidnap the little girl, which means people hip hooraying about being a Taurus is actually hip hooraying about it ain't enough room for you. You only get half your body in the sky. And or they proud and got their Taurus tattoos and symbols about a pedophilia story. Pedophile, kidnapping, charges, guilty. So you don't get your whole body, Taurus, the bull. You only get half of your body. Because we want the world to know that you were guilty of being in the water, hunting, preying on a little girl to kidnap her. You're guilty. We gonna post you up right here, your wanted poster. You're guilty, you're charged poster. How about that? See, where the rest of the bull at? Why you where the back end at? Oh, good dear. Did I say that out? I'm not even being funny. I just said where the back end at? Where the back end at is that on that pedophilia charge. Messing with the little girls. That back bottom end was messing with the little girl. That pedophilia charge for kidnapping. Sometimes adults' parts don't interact with children's parts. So you don't even get to have a bottom half of yourself because it's disrespectful. And kidnapping and pedophilia is not okay. So we just gonna chop your bottom half off and you get no credits from the waist down. Waist down, Gemini. What y'all rolling with? The twins. The twins. Y'all got a story too. Y'all better go check that out. Cancer. I already talked about y'all earlier. We're gonna roll from 69 and all this other stuff. Crap. It just sounds like crazy. Crabs. Tropic of Cancer. Check that out. Moving forward, Leo, that lion, also in the Hercules series of things to defeat in life. Check out that story on your own, Virgo. We rolling through Parthenogenesis. Virgo is the second largest constellation in the sky, exceeded only by the much fainter Hydra. The Greeks called the constellation Parthenos, which is the name Ptolemy gave in the Almagest. It means virgin and Genesis creation. Virgo. Now, Virgo, depicted with wings, features the impartial observer in a moral tale depicting mankind's declining standards, etc., etc. Go check out more of that. Basically, y'all got on her nerves. She had to go away. She ain't got time. Down near the end, we looking at she warned the people the worst is to come. She spread her wings, took refuge in the mountains, turned her back on mankind. Because after a story like Taurus, I mean, come on. Well, what would you do? Finally came the ages of bronze and iron when humans descended into violence, theft, and war. Unable to endure the sins of humanity any longer, Virgo abandoned the earth, flew up to heaven, where she sits today, next to the constellation of Libra, which is a lie, which some see as the scales of justice. Some see it as the scales of justice because they either can't see, they got problems seeing, they don't want to see, or they want to acknowledge the falsehoods of Libra, which is a falsehood. Libra don't exist. And in a world where Libra don't exist, but people insist on having 12 signs, y'all might as well go erase Libra out, give this Scorpio back his claw, because that's where the Libra constellation came from. As I said, how they want to get rid of the lines in the constellation between the stars, the dots in the sky. They erased the lines for the Scorpion's claw. Go check out the Scorpion constellation, see how many claws it got. It got one. The constellations can't even get along. They want man on earth, as above, so below, to get along. Taurus missing the bottom half of their body, his body, since it represents Zeus, I'm going to say his body. Taurus missing the bottom half of his body. Scorpio missing one of his claws. The Scorpion missing one of his claws. Libra found birth, though. Libra was birthed. I guess that's a plus. When is birth a problem? Sometimes birth is a problem. Scorpion got one claw. But hey, Libra was birth, which is one reason why, after saying all that, and there's so much more left to say, some see the Libra as the scales of justice. That don't sound like justice to me. I don't know. Did they ask Scorpio, the scorpion first, before they took its claw and created and birthed Libra? That sounds like the Adam and Eve story, like the rib came from Adam to create Eve. So that make Adam her daddy. Scorpion's claw got taken to represent, to create and birth Libra. So it's the Scorpion, the Libra's daddy, the zodiacs, these constant they related like that. They out there giving birth like that. Ain't that something? I'm just now thinking all this out loud while I'm because I done read this page at least 4 times live. And every time I look at it, I see something else. Ain't that something? But definitely this Virgo story is a whole damn lie, because how Virgo gonna be up bottom's last sentence? How Virgo gonna be sitting next to the up in heaven next to Libra? No. And Libra's between Virgo and Scorpio in the lineup. So is Virgo and Scorpio the parents of Libra? Because they taking away Scorpio's claw. Virgo was right there looking at everything. The worst is yet to come. The worst is to come. They probably said that shit to Scorpio. Scorpion. The worst is to come. These people in these lab coats in the Roman era is going to come and take your claw. So you're only going to be left with one claw. And they going to birth our child. We're going to have a child. But they going to need your claw. And that child's name going to be Libra. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Miss Mocha K, welcome again. Glad to see you over here. All right, now what else we going to do? Oh, that's all. Okay, let's roll it. Because there's something more. Where I want to go right now. Libra scales, part two. Roll it out. Libra scales. Them stars we looking at right there, them stars belong to the Scorpio. That's his claw. So erase the lines of these scales. Thank you, ma'am. You take them scales out and put them lines back in place and get a Scorpio back his claw. But then we'd be looking at the death of Libra. What all of the Libra people gonna do? Because that's been a conversation up here on the platform before. What's all the Libra people gonna Miss Mocha K, you came in right on time with this. Your fiance's a Libra. That's been a platform question. Taking away the Libra scales and giving them stars back to Scorpio so they can have his other claw. You're a Pisces. All right. What happens to all the Libra people? Again, as I was about to say earlier, if you must have 12 zodiac signs, because Libra belongs to the Scorpio claw. I said that like 20 times, so y'all got me right now, right? So we're going to move along. Okay, so that means that sign that they want to act like they just discovered Ophiuchus, the 13th sign, you might as well pull it back up in its place. And then you got 12 signs. Ophiuchus, they pushed away, they shut down and brought up Libra in its place. Because Libra scales represents the Roman Empire getting up online and being able to be a civilized place and have their part in society. It's right here. Okay. That top line say what? The part of the sky you know as Libra was occupied by the claws of the Scorpius. And the Greeks called this area what? and then an identification that lives on in the names of the individual stars of Libra. Why are you gonna say that the Libra was occupied by the claws of the Scorpio? Oh, that ain't right. The Scorpio, this whole sentence is wrong. We need a oh no, this is an English class. So we're gonna cross out Libra was occupied by the claws. No, the claws was occupied by Libra. We need one of them curved lines with an arrow on both ends. Okay, so right now I'm an English teacher. There's a whole grammatical error right there. That's what's wrong with that sentence. And then in the second line, it goes on to say an identification that lives on in the names of the individual stars of Libra. So they renamed the Libra stars to accommodate the Libra sign because the naming of the stars, they accommodate the zodiac sign. So not even did Scorpio lose its claw, it lost its namesakes within those stars. And they were renamed to complement Libra. And as things have worked out, apparently Libra is now a slightly larger constellation than Scorpio. Now, how? Okay. The Libra constellation used to belong to the claw of the scorpion. Now, which is a part of the scorpion body. How did they give it to Libra, them same group of stars, but Libra somehow is bigger than the entire scorpion just using the scorpion's claw? They probably use that space in the sky that Taurus wasn't using no more, since Taurus don't know how to use his bottom half properly and want to be kidnapping young girls and them being a pedophile. Goodness. Moving on, second paragraph. The identification of this area with the balance became established in the 1st century BC among the Romans. Although exactly when it was introduced and by whom, which is my question, who is these people, these determinants in the lab coats that y'all let tell y'all who is who, when it becomes ancient, outdated, expired, and of course, then it is the modern version. They letting y'all know a part of Scorpio expired, and the modern version is Libra. Moving forward in this second paragraph, Ptolemy in the Almagest, written about AD 150, continued to refer to this constellation as the claws. Continued to refer to this constellation as the claws, preferring to follow Greek tradition, even though it was by then being superseded. For example, Libra was shown as a pair of scales on the celestial globe held by Farnese Atlas, a Roman statue produced about the same time that the Almagest was being written. The scales, the claws. Crazy. Third paragraph. To the Romans, Libra was a favored constellation. Of course, the moon was said to have been in Libra when Rome was founded. Italy belongs to the balance, her rightful sign. Beneath it, Rome and her sovereignty of the world were founded, said the Roman writer Manilius. He described Libra as the sign in which the seasons are balanced and the hours of night and day match each other. This is a hint that the Romans visualized Libra as a balance because the sun lay within it at the autumn equinox. I'm on the fourth paragraph, about to go into the second sentence, second line. When day and night are equal. Manalius was, though, speaking of the astrological sign rather than the astronomical constellation. By Roman times, the autumnal equinox no longer lay within the constellation, but had moved into neighboring Virgo, where it still lies. It crossed the modern constellation boundary from Libra, Scorpio, into Virgo around 730 BC. In fact, the idea of a balance in this area goes back much further than the Romans. The Babylonians knew this area as Ziba'ana, the balance of heaven, around 1000 years BC, when the autumnal equinox did lie among its stars. Hence, it seems that the Romans revived a constellation that existed even before Greek times. They didn't revive anything. They stole the claw off the scorpion and birthed the Libra baby. Libra is the only constellation of the zodiac to represent an inanimate object. Why? Because it was a stillbirth. Inanimate means no action, no movement, no life. Inanimate, it don't move. Because it ain't an original of the zodiac constellations of whoever made them up. They straight stole from Scorpio its claw and birthed this stillborn baby called the Libra. Birth from where? It ain't a part of the original life story of the constellations. But that one constellation that they shut down, took it out of its place, and later want to bring it up, called the 13th sign Ophiuchus. Oh no, that's an animate object. As the other 11 zodiacal constellations represent animals or mythological characters. Once the identification of Libra with a pair of scales became established, it was natural to divorce it entirely from the Scorpius. Once it became established, its identification, the Libra, it was natural to divorce it entirely from Scorpius and to associate it instead with the other flanking zodiacal figure, Virgo, who was identified with Dike or Astraea, goddess of justice. Scales, justice, they go together. Scorpio mad because we took his claw. So we gonna tuck Libra over here away with Virgo in the legal justice law system. Keep it protected under contract because it is unlawful for Scorpio to attack Libra because it was birthed from his claw. Just like it's wrong for Taurus to be kidnapping babies, little girls, and being a pedophile. It's a lot of crime in the stars. When you leave it up to Western astrology, it's a lot of crime. As above, so below. I think the sooner we get them, the sooner them constellations up there get refigured and corrected, and we do something and people do something like don't acknowledge it. Identify Orion as something like Osiris instead. Get the identifications correct, as above, so below. And when the corrections become correct above, the corrections below will be all right. So I'm glad I'm teaching this class. This all coming to me right now. This Karmic Dynasty is unscripted. The sooner people quit being entertained by astrology, for example, amongst other things, the sooner better off we'll be. Now, because some people, at least if you're going to be entertained by astrology, you're going to know some of the stories behind it now. And now you're going to look at it in another manner and probably be less likened to be entertained by astrology and become a teacher to yourself about the concepts that you're gravitating to and the fact that you're being entertained by crimes, kidnapping, pedophilia. Don't let this stuff come on the news because everybody gonna be talking crazy. Don't let a pedophile crime come on the news because everybody gonna be talking crazy. Zeus was a ruler. Let the rulership come on and y'all gonna be talking crazy. The ruler of that land over there kidnapping little girls. That ruler of that land over there a pedophile. Them people over there cutting off people's creatures' limbs and creating inanimate objects. Definitely sound like current news to me. But y'all will take in the knowledge of this astrology and apply it to your life. Astrology, the mother of all things, you're not supposed to be defiling these things that are being defiled. And I really am sticking still with Ast in astrology because as long as this stuff is corrupt, Ast is going to be around in some manner, some teacher, some teaching, some symbol, some sign to let you know. Always there's the evidence that what you're looking at is not real. It is very much false. Correct yourself, child. Ast is on her throne and she talking. You're going to hear a bunch of chaos and static in the background and around her in the meantime. That's why Western astrology got its footing that it has now. At this point, and you done heard this much, ain't nothing you could do but look at it different. I didn't make up this stuff that I'm showing y'all. I found this in studying. I'm going to keep coming up here and presenting it till we get more people in the knowledge. And I hear less people be entertained like this love and hip hop or some stuff of astrology. Housewives of astrology. This is not no reality TV show in them skies. Them stars mean something. And people's being disrespectful, except in these retarded ass stories. And retarded means missing some elements. Go check out that word. Retarded ass stories. I'm finishing out the paragraph before the last paragraph on this page. And I'm reading the last sentence in that paragraph. Libra thus became the scales of justice held aloft by the goddess, although in the sky they were positioned at her feet. Alpha Librae, magnitude 2.7, is called Zubin El Genubi. Zubin El Genubi, from the Arabic meaning the southern claw. Okay. Alpha Librae in Arabic means the southern claw, but we discussing Libra. In Arabic, this word means claw, southern claw, a reminder of the Greek identification of this constellation with the claws of the scorpion. The Greek identification. Beta Librae, slightly brighter than Alpha at magnitude 2.6, is Zubin Shamali, Zubin Shamali, the northern claw. But these are the stars in regards to the Libra. No. Then we got Scorpio here. We already looking at this story. Sagittarius, half man, half beast. Taurus in the sky, half bull, half what? Because your bottom back part ain't there. Capricorn in the sky. Aquarius running. Pisces got his part. Pisces, since she here, I'm a Miss Mocha K. She's a Pisces. All these stories. And for the most part, this is the introduction. A sip of astrology. Because yes, there's a difference between astrology and astronomy. And those are my closing words. I look forward to seeing you all for this series. We're doing the basics of astrology. I'm glad to have given you this overview today on this series. And I will see you all next time. I need y'all to leave here knowing there's a difference between astronomy and astrology. One is of science and the other is not, according to those determinants in those lab coats with those name tags. Okay, thank you all.